Hey there, welcome back. It's December now, and honestly, this month is shaping up to be one of the most important ones of the entire year for anyone on Social Security. There are some major changes taking effect and a few surprises that many people still haven't heard about. And there's one update in particular that could mean extra income for some folks, but almost no change at all for others. And the gap between those two groups is a lot bigger than most people realize. Before we jump deeper into it, make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you never miss urgent Social Security updates, payment alerts, and new benefit changes as they roll out. Now, let's keep going. So, yeah, keep listening for that part because it can get really confusing unless someone breaks it down clearly. And with costs still high, Medicare premiums climbing again, and people stretching every dollar this time of year, knowing exactly what's changing really does matter. And also, December is one of those months where payments move around because of how the calendar falls, and there's something unusual happening at the end of the month that confuses people every single year. A lot of folks see two payments and assume it's a bonus or some type of holiday deposit, but nope, it's just how the system handles federal holidays. So we're going to cover that too. Before we keep going, I want to ask you something simple. What matters more to you right now? Getting your Social Security payment on time, or knowing the system is stable for the future? Let me know down in the comments. Now, let's go over the December 2025 payment schedule because this month works a little differently than November, and there's something happening on December 31st that always causes confusion. If you receive SSI, your regular December payment arrives on Monday, December 1st. That's the normal date. But here's the part everyone talks about. Since January 1st is a federal holiday, SSI recipients will get their January 2026 payment early on Wednesday, December 31st. And every single year, someone posts online saying, "Extra SSI check this month," or "Holiday bonus," and it spreads like wildfire. But no, that second payment is simply January's check coming a day early because of the holiday. It's not extra, it's not something new, it's not something you need to apply for. It's just the normal January payment arriving ahead of schedule. Now, if you receive both Social Security and SSI, or if you began collecting Social Security before May 1997, your December payment date is Wednesday, December 3rd. That schedule hasn't changed. For everyone else, your deposit date depends on your birthday. So if your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th, your payment will arrive on Wednesday, December 10th. If your birthday is between the 11th and the 20th, then your payment comes on Wednesday, December 17th. And if your birthday is between the 21st and the 31st, your money shows up on Wednesday, December 17th, December 24th. Yes, that's Christmas Eve this year, which might help a lot of families right when holiday costs peak. And generally, if your bank usually releases deposits around midnight Eastern Time, you can expect that same pattern to continue unless your financial institution has delays. For Direct Express users, your funds typically load sometime during the day on your scheduled date. Now let's talk about something important that starts this month. December is when SSI recipients receive their first payment with the new 2026 cost of living adjustment. Everyone else will see their COLA increase in January. But SSI gets it early because that January payment lands on December 31st. So yes, you'll notice your benefit amount shifting a bit earlier this time. Speaking of the COLA, the increase for 2026 is officially set at 2.8%. The average retiree will see roughly $56 more per month. It's slightly higher than last year's increase, and on paper, it looks decent. But here's the part I mentioned earlier, the part that catches people off guard. Medicare Part B premiums are rising again, and they're increasing faster than the COLA amount. For a lot of people, premiums will be $182.90 in 2026, which is close to a $10 jump from the previous year. And for many people with smaller checks, that entire COLA increase gets eaten up the moment the Medicare deduction hits. If someone receives $600 a month, their COLA increase would be around $16.80. But the Medicare jump wipes out all of it. For some people, it might even feel like their check is smaller because the COLA barely shows up in their bank account. The hold harmless rule protects many people from seeing their Social Security payment reduced because of rising premiums, but that protection doesn't apply to everyone. New Medicare enrollees and higher income beneficiaries aren't covered under that rule. So even though benefits are technically rising, not everyone will actually feel the difference. And that's exactly where a lot of the frustration comes from. I think that's one reason more people are watching how the entire Social Security system is being managed right now, because it's not just about the monthly payment. It's about whether the system feels reliable, stable, and sustainable. And speaking of the system, the SSA commissioner recently released his year-end report, and honestly, it highlights some major improvements over the past year. Earlier this year, the online portal was going offline nearly 29 hours a week, making it frustrating for people who rely on it. Now it's running 24/7 with far fewer outages. Millions of people depend on that website for updating direct deposit, downloading benefit verification letters, filing appeals, and accessing important documents. So having it consistently available is a huge step forward. Call wait times have dropped too. They've gone from around 28 minutes on average down to about 15 minutes. And roughly 90% of calls are now being handled either through automated tools or callback systems instead of making people sit on hold forever. If you've ever been stuck waiting on the SSA phone line, you know that improvement matters. In-office wait times have also gone down. The average scheduled visitor now waits about 6 minutes before being helped. So, after a year full of complaints about delays, outdated systems, and staffing shortages, things are finally beginning to run more smoothly. Another big update is the complete reversal of that controversial disability rule that would have made it harder for older workers to qualify for SSDI. Advocacy groups warned that it could have impacted hundreds of thousands of workers over the next decade, especially people over 50 who already struggle to qualify. Some analysts estimated up to 750,000 people could have been affected. The concerns in the disability community were huge, but the commissioner confirmed the rule is not moving forward anymore. Disability advocates are calling the reversal a major victory. And going into December, it's genuinely one of the biggest reliefs of the entire year. Now let's move to another new change that most people still don't know about. A new tax rule is kicking in that Congress approved, a $6,000 senior deduction for adults 65 and older. The idea is to help lower how much of your Social Security ends up being taxed. But the deduction isn't automatic for higher income seniors. It begins phasing out at $75,000 for individuals and $150,000 for couples. For middle-income retirees, though, the savings could be significant. Some seniors could save over $1,000 a year depending on their income, withholdings, and how they adjust their tax planning for the year ahead. And with all these changes happening, December is also a reminder that long-term Social Security funding still isn't guaranteed. New projections continue to show that the trust fund could run out by late 2032. If Congress doesn't act in time, benefits would automatically be reduced by around 20%. They wouldn't disappear entirely, but the system would have to undergo major changes to stay fully funded. Some lawmakers want to raise the income cap. Some want to increase the full retirement age. Some want payroll tax changes. But no agreement has been reached, and the clock is ticking. Now, let's shift gears for a moment because there's another topic that's been spreading online like wildfire over the last few weeks: the idea of a $2,000 stimulus check coming before Christmas. A lot of people have seen posts and videos claiming the IRS is preparing payments or that banks are already being notified. But here's the truth in plain, simple language. There is no approved $2,000 stimulus check for 2025. Nothing has passed. Nothing is scheduled. Nothing is being issued before Christmas. The IRS has already clarified that there is no new stimulus payment and no new law authorizing one. Even President Trump himself has said these checks would not be arriving this year. He mentioned it could happen sometime next year, and possibly not even early next year. He explained that any payment would require additional steps and approvals before it could move forward. The timing could potentially line up before the 2026 midterms, but that's speculation. And here's another detail most people don't realize: the math behind the proposal. Tariff revenue for 2025 so far is around $195 billion. A $2,000 payment for middle-income Americans would cost nearly $300 billion. So even if everyone wanted it to happen, the revenue doesn't fully cover the cost. Economists have pointed this out, and even strong supporters admit the financial structure still needs work. So here's the straightforward reality. The idea isn't completely off the table, but nothing is happening this year. The earliest anything could realistically move forward would be sometime in 2026, and only if Congress actually passes a bill, And even though that's disappointing for a lot of people, it's completely understandable why so many are hoping for help. The holidays are expensive, food prices are up, utility bills are up, rent is up. People on fixed incomes are stretched thinner than ever. For millions of retirees and disabled Americans, hoping for a stimulus isn't greed. It's a matter of keeping up with basic living expenses. Now moving on, December is also when the 2026 Social Security COLA letters start going out. These one-page notices tell you exactly what your January benefit will be. They matter more this year because Medicare premiums are jumping so much. For a lot of people, these letters are the first time they'll see their real take-home benefit after the COLA increase and after the Medicare deduction. This is also a good time to double-check your direct deposit or direct express information to make sure everything is correct heading into the new year. With staffing shortages, holiday slowdowns, and office backlogs, fixing it now is a lot easier than dealing with problems in January. So, yeah, December has a lot of moving parts, but your payments are still arriving on schedule. The SSA has made real improvements. The COLA increase is officially locked in. The disability rule changes were reversed. And next year includes new tax benefits that may help depending on your situation. Now, I'm curious, how are you feeling about the future of Social Security heading into the new year? Does all this make you feel a little more confident, or are you still unsure about where things are going? Share your thoughts in the comments. It helps this whole community feel connected and supported. If this update helped make everything clearer, hit that like button so more people can find it. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the January update. There are going to be a lot of important changes early next year, and I'll be right here walking you through all of them. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon.